Hello.
Hi Meg, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. You're the reason why I have to send the poor boyfriend to try to log in.
Shri. Okay. Awesome. Just going to wait a couple of moments, get everybody here. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. So nice to see everyone again. Hope everyone's had a wonderful day so far. Brandy's here. Hello. So nice to see you. So we have a packed day. So today is a really critical one and we've done so much work. Can I just take a moment and say thank you? And I am literally in awe of everybody for how much work you've done. This is not a small amount of work, by the way. This is definitely like serious amount of work that you're doing. So well done. And you're here on day 4. So, you're serious. The people who sign up for things and maybe come to one, like you're here on day 4, you're doing the stuff. So just props to everybody who's made it to day 4. You are awesome. So today we're going to be doing content and sales mastery. Does everyone have their worksheet? Mine has got scribbles all over it. But content and sales, this is how I think best. It's really messy. There's papers everywhere. Drives my husband insane. How are you feeling about diving into content? So today we're going to do, I just want to do a little bit of a shout out for the replays. I'm going to make sure the replays are up as soon as I finish. So I'm aware that they've been going out a little late. So obviously you guys are here, but if you want to go through any of this content, oh, hey, Gosha, nice to see you. If you want to go through the content in your own time, slower, pause, all the rest of it, I'm going to make sure the replays are up by my time, 8 p.m. latest, if I can manage, just because it takes some time. And if you haven't yet booked your 10-minute focus call, hey, Colby's here. So glad you're here. Hey, Mia. Book your 10-minute focus call. It's really helpful because you have a small time frame, and I've done that on purpose. Sometimes people have to stop me because I just keep talking, but it's 10 minutes on purpose so that you actually get really focused on the thing that you are stuck on, because otherwise it just ends up being a chat, and I'm terrible because I can chat forever. So 10 minutes is perfect. If you haven't booked it, go ahead and book one. It keeps you really on track, and it keeps you just blasting past any of the stuff that you're stuck with. Awesome. So today, content and sales mastery. So this is very much designed for busy entrepreneurs, busy women who don't have all day to spend posting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, all day long, engaging in groups, spending 4 hours a day on social is not my idea of fun times ever. It's just plain not. I would rather have a really focused strategy of, so for me, it's my group. I love Facebook groups. They are such a great way of nurturing your people. It works so well. You do one show or one live per week. You keep the consistency and it works like a charm. It's super streamlined. You don't have to be posting 5 times a day. People will tell you you do, and I will tell you you don't. Because when you work on your message and when you work on your energy, everything becomes so much easier. And you don't have to be chasing after people. People come to you. So how do we do this? So I have a methodology called the 4x4x4. And it's my content method for creating a sustainable content plan that's going to keep you moving, keep you posting, and keep you on track with what you're saying and where you're saying it and when. It's really easy to do. I have a calendar, like I have a ton of templates and things like that. Gosha, you have my calendar already because we've been working together. So it's really foolproof. And I think that's what we need, because otherwise it's just too noisy. I always say go for one platform, master one platform, get really good at one platform. You can be on 3 if you would like to be on 3. For me, my energy and my time, I focus on Facebook, and then I just post as well on Instagram when I can be bothered, to be honest. Like, it's not super strategic. I'm just like, Facebook is my place. And then when I can, I'll do like an Instagram story. I'll do a few things just to keep it ticking. Cool. So the 4x4x4 method, we're going to start with what are 4 results you help your clients to achieve. So we talked about on day 2, your signature method, your transformation, your results that you get. So you've got like one big result that you get for your clients, but what are 4 things that you help them with? 4 elements. It doesn't have to be a huge change. It can be, I help to remind people to drink more water and stay hydrated, literally. I help to connect mums with their children or with their teens so they can have better relationships. Think of 4 of those things for you in your business. What are those 4 things? Because that's going to be what we're going to build. Oh, hey, Sophie, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Kalina, hi. So what are those 4 things? We're just, oh, Kalina, would you mind muting? Oh, awesome. Thank you. We are just talking about content, guys. So this method of 4x4x4, I'm going to go through it in more detail. So think about these 4 results that you help your clients with, or 4 pain points they have, 4 things that you talk about all the time. Just get some ideas going. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the finished thing. Just keeping those ideas coming. So for example, I'm going to talk about house decluttering, just because it's totally off topic for what I do and probably off topic for what a lot of you guys do, but it's really relatable. If I'm a house declutterer, 4 things that I might help people with is how to keep the kids' rooms tidy. That's 1. Storage solutions. That's 2. Having like wardrobe clear out. That's 3. And number 4 could be like organizing shoes, for example. So those could be my 4 things that I talk about kind of on a cycle. Now, the second 4 in this method, I want you to take one thing. This is going to get complicated, I can tell. I haven't even said it yet. And I'm just going to be like, what, these numbers flying around. So take, for example, the house declutterer. If we're talking about organizing shoes, we're going to take that one element and think of 4 different ways of speaking about that. So 4 different angles. It can be 3, it can be 2, whatever. Like, I just used 4 as an example because it gives you more. So if I'm talking about keeping my shoes tidy and organized, one way could be like, oh, I'm going to get those clear boxes and do the labels, or I'm going to get some kind of organizer, or maybe I'm going to talk about how annoying it is when I find one of my favorite shoes and the other one's missing. Or I can talk about how it stresses you out when you walk in the front door and there's kids' shoes all jumbled up in a big pile and it's all a big mess. So think about coming at it from different angles. What are different things, different angles, different perspectives around that one topic? Anyone want to share? Can you drop me the one thing? Drop me a one thing that you help your clients with that you're going to brainstorm around. I'd love to hear if this is making sense for any of you guys. Okay, cool. So yes, Yasmin's saying, do you use the same content on all platforms? Yeah, absolutely. You can use the same content. You would just, we'll talk about that in the next bit. But yes, it's just different. It's kind of different tone of voice, if that makes sense. So the same type, but different way of talking. So like you would talk about it on LinkedIn very differently from on Facebook. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Colby, it helped my clients remember to practice positive daily affirmations. Awesome. Okay. Building trust and safety with children, cyclical awareness, and coming at it from healing. Yeah. Okay. So you have your thing. Yasmin, reverse negative thoughts around body image. Amazing. So one of those things, take that one thing. How can you come at that topic from a different angle, from a different perspective? Maybe you look about how that impacts relationships. Maybe you look at that thing about how it helps you understand yourself better. That's going to be difficult if you're talking about organizing shoes, but you get my drift. Maybe you can think about how what that means for the rest of, what that allows your client to do, that one thing. If it's getting healthier and fitter, or getting healthier and fitter is like one angle of it is just exercising for 20 minutes. What could be a different way of like saying, and what does that allow you to do, that extra 20 minutes? Is it more energizing? What do you feel afterwards? What do you feel before? How can you build a habit in around it? It's just really open book right now, just to get some ideas kind of pinging around this. So Kathy, personal development. Okay, I love that. So what about personal development? Because that's so broad. So I would go like narrower, choose like 2 things around personal development. Maybe it's creating more me time even, or self-care routine, think about something a little bit more specific. Because if you keep it broad, it's really hard to create the content around it, because you'll just it just won't be focused enough. Yeah, so Yasmin, exactly. So positive body image morning routine. I love that. That would be a brilliant example of one of the ways you talk about positive body image. Is this landing? Can I get some ones if this is making sense? If I'm not just like spewing numbers at you randomly. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay. So you've got 4 ways you help people, or 4 problems they have. 4 ways you can talk about that problem. So guys, this is literally, you could build out a content calendar for like 3 to 6 months with this framework. If you spend an hour and a half, 2 hours getting some ideas going, you could literally be building out your content map for the next 6 months. So hopefully this gives you just the bare bones of like the framework of how to approach it. And the last 4 is the different types of posts. Yeah, no, exactly. I hate that feeling of social media, like, oh, I need to show up, but I don't know what I'm going to say. Yeah, it's really sucky. So the last 4 is the different types of posts, because there are different types of, say, like content posts that you can be sharing. Cool. So we've kind of blasted through the first 2 pages already. So the 4 types of posts. Everyone okay with that? Have you got your page for that, the 4 types? So I is the inspire post. This is all about your story, or all about your method, or all about your clients' stories. It's all about why you do what you do, because people need to know you, and they need to know why you do what you do, and they need to know what you do. So the inspire piece, really don't miss this one. And this is the hard one, because this can be vulnerable to share stories about us that are true, because it's the stuff you don't want to share that you need to be sharing to get people to relate and really go, wow, that was amazing. So the stuff that you're feeling ashamed about sharing, that you hope no one ever finds out. And believe me, there's stuff that I wouldn't post on LinkedIn because I used to work there. I don't want people to know about me, but I know if I did, that would be the post that would get me the most engagement. So it's the stuff you're kind of scared to share. It doesn't have to be traumatic. It doesn't have to be terrible. It doesn't have to be, heart-wrenching or awful. It just has to be the stuff you don't want people to necessarily know about you, whatever that looks like for you. Because that's going to be the reality of you, not just I think I should be XYZ, so I'm going to pretend to be XYZ. So that's the I of the 4 types. The second one is the educate. So the educate post is where you share your value. It's where you're helping people, where you're actually giving them your expertise, your experience, your take on stuff. It can be tips, it can be tactics, it can be super helpful Instagram post with an infographic about whatever it is you do. It's the value stuff. It's the stuff that people naturally post, and I think most people would fall into this of just posting the how-tos, the tactics, the education post, but they miss out on the inspire. And there's a ton of informational posts all over social media. It gets really boring after a while. You need to connect with the person and have that connection going before you just put loads of tips in front of somebody. Cool. All right. Number 3 is the engage post. This is where you get to find out about your audience. This is where you get to ask them questions. If these people are following you or friends with you, or you want to know more about them, if they're potential clients, this is where you get a chance to genuinely ask them a question, not just for market research purposes, although that's great, but get to know the people who you're serving, what's going on for them, how are they feeling, who wants to go on a beach holiday, who would rather have, you see a lot of these engage posts, but try and be more interesting. I don't know a nicer way of saying that, instead of tea or coffee. There's a lot of tea or coffee, what would you rather? Does that really tell you a huge amount about somebody? Engage them, ask them interesting questions. Where did you last go on holiday when you were allowed to travel, and why did you go there? I don't know. Or something to get an answer back that's not a yes or no answer. It can be anything. This is really just to get conversations going, to get people asking. You can use engage posts for actually to help you in your business as well. I've done this a load of times. I've actually posted saying, I'm thinking about using this software platform or this one. Can anyone give me a heads up? And I've met some really lovely ladies who are in my field who have been doing this, who've connected and genuinely helped me with it. So it doesn't have to be like a sneaky sales tactic. It can be a genuine, like, I'm struggling with something. Can someone give me some help? I don't know whether to use this email list or, whatever. It definitely can be a sneaky sales tactic too, by the way, if you want it to be. Is this making sense to everybody? So Beth, does the question have to be related to the group or business? No, I don't think so. I would always just ask you before you're posting, just being intentional about what the purpose of the post is for, because I think a lot of times people post and then don't really know what to do when people respond, or like know where to send them. So just being aware, like, I want some engagement, I want to know about people because I'm doing this, or I just want to connect more, I want them to know me more. So it can be about anything. A way of using engagement posts in Facebook particularly, and I do apologize for my pure Instagrammers here, because I know there are some of you who are not particularly on Facebook as much, but Facebook groups, a way of finding out where your ideal people are hanging out on Facebook is by posting something that's super specific to your thing that you help people with, but do an engagement post. For example, when I did an engagement post around, I was trying to connect with more people who are coaches and healers in a specific industry. So I wanted to really connect with people about meditation. So I posted about, because I'm terrible at meditation, it's not something I do. I've tried to do it. I don't have the patience. So I was like, where do I start if I'm impatient and I've got 10 minutes a day, literally 10 minutes? What would you advise me to do? And I had some really lovely ladies reach out and give me some actual steps. But then I knew that that's their thing. That's their jam. That's what they do. That's what they help people with. So it can help you to filter your audience really specifically. Shri, literally no one is good at meditation. That's the point. Thank you. Make me feel better. Okay. So do you include a call to action in each post? It's totally up to you. It's totally what you feel happy with and aligned with. I always think each post has a purpose. So even if you don't have a specific action, maybe the specific action is literally asking them to respond. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a sales post. I like to do an engagement post. Engagement posts, I tend not to have one, but just because I'm asking a question, so it seems a bit strange. But for the others, I tend to either have a direct call to action or a PS. I like this. PS, the doors are opening too, you know, something along those lines. Okay, awesome. So we've got to number 3, engage. Number 4 is your sales posts. So anyone struggle writing a sales post? Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I'm going to sit down and write a sales post today, and then just drawn a blank? Drop me a 1 if this resonates. I literally got to a stage of thinking, I need to write like a sales post and I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I've got a really nice nifty little trick for a sales post, and it has to be connected to story. So you basically start with story. You start with a pain point, connect it to a story about you or about a client or about somebody real, not a made up story, an actual story. And it doesn't have to be, you know, a long story. It can be an example of, let's say we're talking about the pain point of writing content. So I would start with something like, and headlines are really important. There's almost like a whole other thing. But ever sat down at your laptop and just thought, what the hell am I going to write today? For example, that's your pain point. Talk a bit more about the pain point. Isn't it like the never-ending roller coaster of social media? It feels exhausting, etc. Connect to story. Next step is, when I started, I would literally not have a planner with my content, have no strategy behind it, post as and when, and then I wondered why my results were really lackluster, or something like that. Because you're relating it to you and they can see themselves in your story. And there's no judgment there. It's not like you should know this stuff. It's like everyone's been there. It's all relatable. It is a pain. And here's how I can help. So you shift from story to solution. Here's how I can help you. From that story, I learned that. And then talk about how you can help. Is this making sense? Let me know if I'm going too fast. So positioning your solution doesn't have to be a whole rundown of everything that you do. Remember, your sales post is literally to make them do one action, and the one action could be book a sales call. The one action could be download my ebook or book a discovery session. So whatever your call to action is, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to talk about all the ins and outs, just talk about the solution of that very specific thing you talked about. You have to connect the story to the specific solution. So if you're a spiritual coach and you have a ton of different ways of healing people with Reiki or crystals or meditation guides, you know, you have a lot of tools. You want to be talking about one solution for that specific pain, because otherwise it's too confusing and people don't know what you're talking about. How does a sales post differ from an inspire post? Okay, so they can be one and the same, totally. Like the sales post can be an inspire post. A sales post is more structured around a specific pain point, if that makes sense. So for an inspire post, I kind of wouldn't do the whole digging into the pain to really making them feel present with that feeling. It's more about you, I would say, the inspire post. It's more about understanding you as a person, understanding your backstory, what's brought you to this point. And obviously you can't do, this is a long-term strategy. It's not going to happen in a week. This, you know, all of this stuff, it takes time for organic content marketing, which is what this is. This is content marketing on social media. It takes time for this to land and to build. It's like a long-term strategy for your business. It's really important but it's also one of your tools. It's not your only tool. Has that answered your question, Sri? I think I just went off on a tangent. Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right, we're moving along. Like it. And so what I want to talk about next is how you connect this to authentic connection and sales. Because what we talked about in the last session was your income goals, your program, the number of people you need, your conversion events, what that looks like for you. Are you going to have 4 a year, 6 a year? So how do you connect this content plan of like, that's great, and I've got all this content, but how do I actually get people to sign up, to click on a link, to get into my free event, to get into my paid program? And this all it's all under the umbrella of connecting authentically with your ideal clients. So obviously I can't do all of this detail in this time that we have together, but hopefully this helps you with just piecing together those building blocks of what that looks like. But let's talk about sales, because I want to do a bit of a focus on sales and objection handling specifically. When I talk about sales and marketing, so the way I think about it is marketing is just educating somebody along the way so that they're ready for when you make an offer. That's the way that I view it. There's probably a better way of saying it in a smarter way, but educating somebody about what you do, getting to know you, getting to know what you do, why they need you. That's the marketing piece. Getting that kind of relationship building to a point where when you offer something, they're just like, yes, I'm going to buy. So that's the sales point. Is that making sense? I see it as like a sort of not really linear, but like a journey, definitely, that you're taking them through. Anyone had a DM where the first time someone meets you is like, here's my 3-month program. It costs this much. Would you like to sign up for it? Anyone had the, yeah, it's cool, isn't it? So, I mean, props. I never get cross about it because I'm like, okay, fine. But you're missing the inspire piece. You're missing the like, know, and trust factor. You're missing the me even knowing what you do. I don't even know who you are. Why am I going to spend $10,000 on something that I don't even know who this person is? So they missed like 5 steps. They went straight for the marriage proposal when you hadn't even been on a first date, basically. And you're like, no, thanks. So I think about this marketing piece as you taking them on a journey. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel too much, just because you're showing up as you're giving value first. That's the marketing piece. You're giving value first. You're going to have a free event or a free webinar or a free workshop or something that is giving someone value first. That's really important. And your free stuff has to be as good as someone else's paid stuff. It has to be as good as your paid stuff. Really strongly believe this is true, because some people worry about giving too much. But I think in the nature of, if you're a coach or a consultant, I mean, it's different if you are in a kind of, Sophie, I'm just going to call you out because you're a VA, and it's slightly different. You don't like give everyone a ton of your time for free, but the experience of working with you can definitely give them a mini website audit and just give them some pointers and say, I've actually had some thoughts about what you can do better. That is great. It doesn't take you very long, but it gives value up front. So when we talk about sales, I think people get this nervous energy around sales because it feels pushy, it feels salesy. And yes, it can feel pushy and salesy when you haven't done the bit before. When you haven't spent time investing in someone because they could be a client, and you hop straight to the money, right, you're going to buy it, seems really forced and it seems really rushed. And you might make some sales that way. Like, you definitely probably will make some sales that way. But I know for a fact that from the ladies in this group, being authentic in your sales outreach is really important. So you don't feel out of your own alignment with what you're saying. It's really important to me as well. I've had phone calls where I've felt very pressured by somebody, and it doesn't make me feel good. I can't believe it makes them feel good because they didn't make the sale. And it's very hard to get somebody to buy something if they don't want to. So you don't want to put your clients in a space where they don't want to buy from you before they've even spoken with you. So that's where, yes, it takes more time. Yes, it takes more commitment to them as your potential client. But that's when, if you get this bit right, the sales bit becomes really, really effortless. And I promise you, it does become effortless because you give so much. When you give so much, you're allowed to receive, and you're giving so much value that when you have those conversations, it's very natural. You're not feeling like that nervous energy. Has anyone had a discovery call where you think like, I got to sign this client, and it all comes out wrong and you put too much pressure on yourself and it feels really stressful? And they can feel it as well. So they're like, whoa. So it takes away, if you do this process, if you can get your messaging and your content and really feeling aligned with your message and feeling so confident with your message, because sales tactics and scripts, that's all there too. You can definitely follow those, and there are ways of leading conversations and doing that outreach that is going to be really helpful. But when you're coming from the energy of, I'm just doing the best I can, I'm showing up the best way that I can, I'm not attached to whatever they want to do, they're a completely autonomous human being, I can't change anybody's mind, I just know that I've done the best that I can do to communicate how much value I have. That's the real thing. So just being so sure of your own value that when you get onto a phone call, you're not like pitching somebody. It's not like you're pursuing somebody. You're just allowing the conversation to unfold, seeing if it's a good fit and seeing if they're a good fit for you as well. It's like a job interview. You're both working out, is this going to work? Do we like each other? Is this right for me right now? So some tactics, let's get super tactical for a second, because I want to talk about how to find the people on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the places. So you can start filling your events with the right people. So Facebook groups are amazing in one respect, but also exhausting in another. I would be very strategic about picking 3 to 4 ones that you love the energy, you love the people, you've had some really nice conversations with people, and just focusing your energy on them. Because when you have 150, 200 groups and you're trying to post in lots and lots of groups, you feel scattered because you are scattered, and you can't spend as much time actually getting to know people in that group and having the real conversations that's going to lead to a sales conversation. So 3 or 4 groups. Make sure you're choosing the ones that your ideal clients are there. Do a couple of those questions, those sifting questions of like, who here uses this very specific thing to your niche? Or who's found this is challenging? You know, things like that. I've got a little template of all of those sorts of things. But Facebook groups are amazing. Conversation. Don't just go and add tons and tons and tons of people. Make sure you've had a connection and then say, do you know what, I'd love to carry on this chat via DM. Is that okay? Asking permission is amazing. It feels better. It feels better for everybody. Facebook's great. And I love to really focus on the ones that resonate with you, naturally resonate with you. And I feel like some of the huge ones that get lots and lots of comments and lots of people fishing for work it's kind of, I don't really like the energy of them, to be honest with you. I prefer to focus on smaller groups and just be more meaningful with connection. Instagram is kind of my new favorite obsession right now. I'm so late to the party. Anyone who's like an Instagram whiz on here, you could probably teach me a thing or two, but I'm just loving Instagram because you can search for stuff. There are some brilliant tips, a really great tip for you guys is, if you have an ideal client avatar, go ahead and look at that person's profile, see who they're following, pick a couple of the top people they're following in their industry with like hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, go into that person's profile, then go into their followers. That's where all your ideal clients are hanging out. Then you can literally outreach to them, give them a digital hello. And by digital hello, I mean a follow, a like, a comment. Doesn't have to be a huge back and forth. But that's where you're going to find the people that you need to be connecting with. And people are so open to genuine connection. LinkedIn is amazing. It's a very different platform. It's a very purposeful platform. People spend less time, Yasmin, yeah, you got this. People spend less time on it, to be honest. I know the average stats in it's just insane compared to Facebook. It's about 17 minutes per month on average. They've got a global reach of, I think, 620 million compared to Facebook's God knows what. I don't even know what Facebook is now, but it's smaller. If your client is high net worth, if they're like a 6, 7, 8 figure earner, they're going to be on LinkedIn. If they're corporate, they're going to be on LinkedIn. They're going to be spending less time on LinkedIn. So don't be wasting a lot of time on LinkedIn thinking, why aren't people engaging? Because they're not there that often. They are definitely also on Facebook, but they're on Facebook for a different purpose. So this is where tone of voice, Yaz, comes in. You wouldn't be posting on Facebook in that kind of conversational, friendly, more like chatty way. People are doing that more and more on LinkedIn. I don't use it as an engagement on the news feed. I find it's just too, it's not as active. It's not as active for news feed. It's great for direct messaging. Hey, Diva. Yeah, short posts. They've started doing stories as well on LinkedIn. So using video, and I think video is really important, because when people see your face, maybe it's like an IGTV, it's only 2 minutes, 3 minutes. When people see you and they can hear you and understand how you are, it really helps them to imagine working together. So using video is, and I know I've had conversations with people who are like, I just hate it. I just cannot do a Facebook Live. I really don't like it. And I completely understand that. However, it's a really important thing to just do. Sorry, that's my advice. But yeah. So LinkedIn, I can't tell you about TikTok because I know nothing about it. Anyone know anything about TikTok and using it? I'd be super interested to hear how you found it. Diva is, oh, amazing. Cool. I'd love to know about how TikTok is. Obviously, video is massive. So anything that's video platform is going to be huge. Twitter, I do use Twitter. I don't post myself, but I use it for publicity threads. So that's really helpful. There's a few threads, hashtags that you can follow. I'm giving you stuff, all this stuff. Write it down. Hashtag journo requests. This is awesome, by the way. So just on Twitter, follow hashtag journo requests, set up an alert for it, and every day in your inbox, you'll get what journalists are requiring content about. Ta-da! So they might say business content required, and then they'll have a list of stuff that they want to know. We're looking to interview someone about this. Or they might say health and wellness content. We want to interview someone about this. And you can literally just find that person on Twitter and tell them what you would like to write about. And they'll be like, great. It's a magic tool. I don't use Twitter for anything other than that. Journo. So sorry, I'll write it in the chat as in everyone. So hashtag journo requests. Harrow. Yes. Yeah, Beth. Amazing. So exactly the same thing. Can't even remember what HARO stands for, but yes, that's another good one. So guys, at this time, at this moment, you should have your 444, the 4 things you help people with, 4 ways of talking about those things, and the 4 posts you can post. So map it out strategically, get it into a content planner, and write those posts out, schedule them, get them done. It's really streamlined. It's really simple. You will also have your ways to connect authentically, how to build relationships on Facebook, how to build connection on video with Instagram, how to reach out to people via LinkedIn. You don't have to be spending enormous amounts of time doing these things. It's just knowing the tricks. Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, help a reporter out. Thank you. So I just want to take a moment, because can I just say, everyone who's been on this journey so far, how much stuff have we done? How much work have you done? And I really want to take a second just to really honor you and just say, take a moment and just be really, really grateful. You should be so proud of yourselves for the amount of dedication and hard work. And this is not the light version, by the way, of anything that I do. This is pretty intensive stuff. So I'm just blown away by all the amazing energy and everything that you've shared. And I do also just want to take a moment to say that I have a very special invitation for you. And I'm really nervous about saying this, and I've been getting super nervous all day, but I want to take the next 15-20 minutes to talk about this because I'm so excited for it. So I know you're here and you've learned so much amazing stuff, and you've got so many big goals and big visions and big dreams. And I've just absolutely loved sharing them and hearing them every day. It's been amazing, and speaking to you all has been amazing. So I wanted to tell you about the Fearless Entrepreneur Program, which is my group experience program for fearless entrepreneurs who want to scale their business to 100,000 next year. Dollars or pounds, whatever you work in. We want you to scale to that, to take you from where you are, which is putting all the work in, doing all of the things and not seeing the results that you want to see, and taking you literally step by step to 100,000 plus. I want you thinking really big. So if you've had so much value from this week and you want to do it yourself, then that's absolutely fine. Join us tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about the leads, literally like all of your lead generation stuff. You can hop off because I'm going to be talking about the program from here on in, and that literally, it's absolutely perfect. This is for you. This is value for you. So if you want to jump, that's cool. But for those of you who want to hear about it, I'm going to spend some time talking about how this program will be literally the step-by-step roadmap with the tools, the implementation, the accountability that you need to take you there. Because I don't know about you, but I had kind of gotten tired of throwing things at the wall and hoping that something stuck. I was getting pretty burnt out. My husband was getting cross with me because I was working late every night, and I was literally working so hard and wondering why nothing was working and why I had zero money in my bank account. So I have developed this program specifically to help women get unstuck from those annoying things, get unstuck from the mindset stuff that will hold you back, get unstuck from the sales fear and the self-doubt and the things that go on in our heads that keep us kind of running on a spot, because that doesn't take you where you want to go. So I know that this is a program that literally has all of the things you need. And I know so many of you have spent money on coaches and consultants. You spent hundreds of pounds or dollars or thousands even on courses and programs that haven't given you necessarily the results that you want. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is the implementation and the constant momentum and the constant integrating into your business. So for that reason, I've designed it in a way, in a container that's going to support you through all of the things that I know you need, basically. So the lead method, the limitless mindset, the elevated offer, the authentic selling piece, and the delivering of excellence. So those are the core concepts. And I just want you to take a moment now and think, in 8 weeks' time, so in 2 months from now, how it would feel for you to sign your first, your second, or your third high-paying client into your program. How would you be feeling if you had those clients that you just love to work with? You're on calls with them, you're absolutely loving the energy, they're doing so well, you're absolutely loving it. In 8 weeks, this can totally happen. And I'm saying this with so much confidence because it's totally happened for me. So this is not just a kind of fluff machine. I'm very much direct. You can sort of see my style. I'm very much about the forward motion and keeping people accountable where you can't hold yourself accountable, and everybody needs that. But I wanted to talk about what we need to get there. So if you know your purpose and you know that you just want the step-by-step of how to get the strategy, all the pieces together, how to actually build that into your business, then this is going to be the perfect vehicle for you. So I'm going to do the first 4 weeks to 6 weeks on sales. I know that sales can be a massive sticking point, and the sales process is quite complex. There's lots of different bits in it. So we're going to do it like a sales boot camp for the first 4 to 6 weeks. Really get focused in on your sales process. We're going to have Q&A sessions in the hot seat so people can come and talk about what it is going to be for your sales process, how it's going to work for you. In the next month, I'm going to do a real deep dive focus on audience building. So for audience building, there's going to be quite a lot of the tech systems, the software that you need to get that scale. If you've got a group program, if you've got a membership, we'll be talking about email lists. We'll be going through all of that great stuff. So what you're going to be mastering in terms of skills, this is a 12-month program. This is a long program. You're going to be mastering how to sell on camera, how to master your mindset so you're super resilient when things don't go wrong, when things go wrong and you need to get back on track, how you can get yourself back up onto that. We're going to be mastering absolutely your elevated offer. So how you can package all of the amazing stuff that you do into a program or offer that's going to be perfect to launch to your audience. So you don't have to worry about the thing that you're creating not being the right thing, because I've been there, I've done that. I've created something that was completely way off target and it just wasn't the right thing for my audience. And it sucked and it took so much of my time. I can't tell you. It took me about like 2.5 months I spent on that. I just want to shortcut all of that learning for you and make sure that you can actually go to market with a thing that's going to sell immediately. You're also going to be having a support system. So in terms of the training, it's all going to be there for you. Templates, strategy, scripts, objection handling, anything that you will need, email nurture sequence, leads, how to capture them. I've literally poured everything that I know you will need because I don't want you wasting your time on the stuff that gets you stuck. I want you to be going out and delivering your amazing stuff to the world and making the impact, making everything that you want to happen without getting stuck on the minor details. So I've put it all in a place where you can access it. But the cool thing is we're going to have so many calls. We're going to have 2 calls a week. And I'm not going to do 52 weeks a year. I'm going to take 7 weeks holiday. But those first 6 weeks, we're going to be doing an amazing sales bootcamp experience. And on the first week, so the very, very first week that you sign up, which is going to be the 28th of December when we kick off, I'm going to be doing a special mindset deep dive, kind of like a mini retreat, because I really want you to hit the ground running in January. So I say, like, why wait until January? Let's get everything cleared out. Let's get all the resistance up to the surface. Let's figure out what's holding you back and let's just hit the ground running in January. I'm just so excited. If you have any questions in the chat, let me know. If anyone has any thoughts, what's going on? What do I do? How does it work? I would absolutely love to invite you guys to ask me. I'm here. So for the pricing is £800 per month. So for a lot of you, that's going to be what, like 1.5 clients or 1 client that you would need to sign. So my vision for you in 6 to 8 weeks is you're signing your first 1 to 3 clients. My vision for your 3 months, 6 months, year is total transformation, total business transformation from where you are now to the CEO, 6-figure CEO that you are, that I can see in literally every single one of you on this call. I see this. So any questions, anybody? And I do have a very special offer for anyone who wants to join live and go ahead and sign up now. I have a very special bonus. So if you're thinking to yourself, this sounds quite nice, I'm intrigued, I would quite like to work with Meg for a whole year and have her mind on my business and have her holding my hand, which I would be holding your hand literally for a year. Okay, bye everyone, bye. If you are thinking, if you're on the fence and you're just thinking, I want to know more, but I'm feeling unsure, I have an amazing offer. I literally am giving a 50% scholarship. So if anyone is feeling brave, and I've not pre-prepared this, by the way, so I've not reached out to anyone and said, dude, do me a favor. If you are feeling brave and you want to take the plunge, I'm giving a 50% scholarship for someone who, if you want to sign up now. So the doors close Sunday. We start the 28th of December. The calls are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to be here for you. I've got your back 100%. So if anyone's feeling brave and you don't have to, this is quite a nervous making thing, but for £400 a month, if anyone's feeling like, yeah, do you know what do I have to lose? Then you get £400 a month for a year as the founding member. I'm going to leave that with you to mull. I probably should have lined somebody up, shouldn't I? Just to say, come on, be the first person. So guys, do you have any questions about it? What's coming up? Any thoughts around this kind of an experience? Because it's a commitment of time. It's hard work. I'm not saying it's going to be no work. It's going to be hard work, but it's hard work with a very pure strategic focus on how I can help you get to that level. Okay, awesome. If you want to check it out, if you want to think about it, I totally get it. Have a think, have a mull over what you're thinking, ask me some questions, jump on a call. If you are thinking, I would love to, but how about, yeah, but just say, look, can I grab 10 minutes? I have a few things that I just want to know more about, and I'll be more than happy to share with you. I'm excited for this because I'm so excited for you because I see everyone's amazing things. I see your visions. I see what you've been writing in here, and you've done so much work. And I've been having conversations with so many amazing women who are like, I can see this is totally possible. So my mission in life is to make you understand what's totally possible for yourselves, make you really know that and make you feel it, and just be here for you and have your back. Okay, yeah, absolutely. We can have a call. Yes, I would love to. Okay, cool. Amazing. So I just want to take a moment to thank you all for all of your hard work. If you do want to jump on a call and talk about this further, I would absolutely love to speak with you. The Fearless Entrepreneur Program is going to be running from the 28th of December this year until the 30th of December or so, 2021. And what would happen is we would have an onboarding call where we go through everything. I would send you a ton of calendar invites to book up all of those sessions in your diary. The first 4 to 6 weeks is going to be our sales bootcamp, and we're going to do a mini mindset retreat just before the new year, like in our first week, to get to know each other and figure out where we're going to go in the next year. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much. I so appreciate all of you. And any questions, don't drop them in this chat. Just DM me on Facebook, because that's where I am most of the time. Drop me a DM and I can go through all of your questions. Go ahead, book a call. If you want to get the 50% discount, you would have to sign up by tomorrow because it's pretty deep discount. And I'm not going to just be extending that to everybody. I'm going to be offering one of those, possibly two. So let me know if you are thinking, if your heart and your head is saying yes, let me know, and we can talk through anything that's coming up and any resistance that you might have. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have wonderful evenings. I'll see you soon. Bye.